This is the Ray Longo Minute. No Matt Serra interruptions this week. I'm actually in the great state of New York right now, would you believe it, and couldn't get my ass to law.
When are you coming? How long are you going to be in New York for?
I'll be here till Wednesday. I just couldn't figure out a way to get down there and make it work with Ken Flo's schedule, and TJ has a million things going on with Invicta this week, so I hate when I'm like...
Hey. Look, he's trying to put the blame on me here, Longo. I mean, can you hijack? Can you kidnap this kid and just bring him along Long Island?
Yeah, where is he? Where in New York are you? I actually might send somebody to get you. Where are you in New York?
I'm just so afraid. I'm so afraid to hit pads that I'm hiding out. I am at the...
How come come in and say hello? I'll get Drago to do a one-on-one with you with your jiu-jitsu.
Oh God, please no! I
gotta make up for my friend rudely interrupting us last week.
Yeah,
horrible.
I forgot my gi again. That's becoming my life story. Not traveling with the gi. No, I'm at the Viceroy Hotel, 120 West 57th Street, New York, New York.
What's the room number?
Right.
The room number. I am on the sixth. I'm on the sixth floor. You're gonna have to go door to door. I'm on floor 6. So what's going on, dude? 18 days out from a big one, obviously, UFC 210, Weidman versus Mousasi. It is a pick'em fight right now, according to Las Vegas.
Very good. That's good. I'm going with my guy, obviously, but, Mousasi's on a good roll, so I get that, and then, look, Chris has got his back against the wall, man. It's not easy. I think we're going to find out what he's made of this fight because he's down, 2 fights, and I think that's a really tough thing, to have mentally. But he's having a great camp, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good night.
So I'd imagine a lot of the hay's in the barn at this point in time, 18 days out, but at least one more hard week ahead of you here, yes?
Yeah, and I'm just really I'm happy where his cardio's at. I just want that to be on point. He had great sparring with all, a couple of people we brought in throughout the last bunch of weeks, and then that's it. Yeah, it's just keeping them focused and keeping them healthy more than anything, which that gets tougher and tougher.
Right.
Right. Has he been healthy, and how is his mental state heading into this fight? I know you said, his back is against the wall a little bit here. And, I tweeted something the other day about how, he said, I don't think Mousasi's that great of a fighter. He hasn't really won a lot, any of the big fights. That concerned me a little bit for Chris. What's his mental state heading into this fight?
That I didn't hear that, but I don't know. I could tell you as his coach, I'm definitely not underestimating the guy, and I think he's a very relaxed fighter. I think, he, doesn't push the greatest pace, but he's not going to get rattled either. You know what I mean? And,
right.
He's got a lot of fights. That's a lot of experience. He's got 3 times the amount of fights Chris has. But he doesn't, he seems to come up short in the big fights. I think that's kind of what he was saying.
Right.
That when he's really in there with the elite competition, he doesn't fare too well. But, guys that are, just outside of the top 10, I think he just runs right through them. I mean, which he's did it with Uriah Hall. He did it with Costa Philippou. He did it with some other guy. I don't even know his name. But I think the Jacares, the Machitas, the guys that are at that top level, this is a big fight for him also, and that's why, I tell Chris he's coming guns blazing because you're a big name to have on the resume, so
right.
It's it's going to be, I like where his head's at, he's back, he's aggressive, he's again, his cardio's on point. So again, it's just keeping the cardio up, keeping the reflexes, the timing, toning down the sparring a little bit. He maybe has, a couple of hard sparrings left, and then just making sure. I think the 3 rounds is going to be in his advantage because he could push a really hard pace.
I can't wait for that fight, man. Two of my favorite fighters going at it right there. And I guess I'm
but
switch.
I don't think he's underestimating. He's definitely not underestimating the guy's stand up. I think he's just when he analyzed the fights, I think he watches some of the bigger fights, and that's what he's kind of saying.
Yep.
Like he didn't, he hasn't faced the competition. Well, he did good with Vitor too, so yeah, he's had a couple of good ones.
That's fair. Yeah, no. Ray, did you get a chance to watch the UFC London card, and what'd you think?
I saw, it was sporadic. I definitely saw the Manuel fight with Corey Anderson, which was, which was wild. I mean, that kid's, he's not a kid, but I mean, that guy's, on a bit of a roll now. And I don't think Corey's the easiest guy to knock out. I thought Corey was going to implement his wrestling a little better. But I think that was a big win for Jimmy Manuwa at this stage of his career. And I think if you stay in the pocket with Jimmy Manuwa, he could probably knock out anybody.
Well, yeah, we know what he can do with the right hand, obviously. The left hook was the weapon of choice on this night. And I've even talked to Brian Stan when he sort of talks about maybe coming back to fight. He's going right to New Jersey to train with Corey Overtime Anderson every day. I mean, this is a guy who you can't really outwork. So obviously people thought if Manuwa got it done, it was likely going to be by knockout. But I think a lot of people are surprised with just how easily he was able to put Corey Anderson away, and he's 37 years old. So a big win for Corey Anderson. So we're talking about the fights here, Ray. I thought it was interesting, Matt Serra last week. He's like, you guys probably want to talk about the fights. So, do they talk about the fights on their podcast, or do they just sort of shoot the breeze and try to be funny?
That's a question for him. That guy is, first off, let me again apologize for my rude friend last week that kind of just tried to have a coup of our podcast. But no, he interviews a lot of fighters, and he kind of breaks them down. I mean, he does. I think they're definitely talking about fights, not just shooting the shit.
No,
but,
I know.
it's mostly shooting the shit. But he does. He's very in tune with the fights, and he's got some great insight as usual.
Of course.
I hate to give it up to him, but he does some.
Oh yeah, he lights up the room. Not unlike you. He's we're all friends here. I just if you're gonna
no. Let me tell you something. You have to understand. This is a group. If you're not insulting each other, something's wrong. I mean that's kind of the way it goes.
Yeah. Well, hey, you want to dig the Anakin Florian podcast for talking about mixed martial arts? Guilty as charged, dude. Okay. That's what we're here for. Hey, so before I let you go, so someone asked me about this Weidman Mousasi betting line, right?
Yeah.
Chris was a slight favorite. Now in most places it's a pick'em. And I'm an avid gambler. I'm calling this fight, and I don't bet on UFC fights, obviously contractually prevented from doing so. I don't know that Mousasi is a guy in this current form that I would want to fade or bet against. But, dude, I mean, isn't Weidman like a system play coming off 2 losses? I mean, he's the last guy I would want to fight staring at potentially a 3rd straight loss. I mean, I got to think he's going to be at the height of motivation. He was doing a lot of things right against Yoel Romero, I mean, so I don't know. I think
he was I agree with that. He was really, I thought, and again, you got to remember with Romero, the game plan was to, make him wrestle a little bit, whether you would, just to make him work to have a big 3rd round, So that we weren't far off. I thought he won the 1st round. He lost the 2nd round, but he made him work. And I think he just made a little mistake, and it really cost him big. So I expect to see a totally different person on April 8th. And I'll tell you right now, I'll be the first guy to say I'm shocked if I don't see it, but I think he's in the right spot, and I think what you're saying is right on the money. I mean, he's coming out guns blazing.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is that if you're betting on Mousasi here, you're also betting on Chris Weidman, one of the greatest middleweights of all time, to suffer a 3rd consecutive loss, And I put Mousasi too. I mean, these are all-time great middleweights. I think these are Hall of Fame type fighters. But again, a bet on Mousasi means that Weidman loses 3 straight, and man, that would be a tough reality, obviously, for you guys to walk into after the fight. We're looking forward to it. April 8th, UFC 210. That's your co-main event. And drinks, dinner, it's all on me, okay? In Buffalo, it's all on me.
Wait, don't say it's all on you. I know you're at the Viceroy. Expect a knock on your door. That's all I'm saying. You're getting out to Long Island one way. Now, you don't even have to hit anything. Come out and say hello. Watch everybody train.
All right. I'll try to come out tomorrow night, and I'm in room 612 if you get here first.
Beautiful. There you go. All right, my man.
Thank you, buddy.
Take it easy. All right, take care, guys.
Raymond Peter Longo joining us live every week here on the Anakin Florian podcast. Yeah, a little dust up with Ken Flo and Weidman on Twitter. I know it was friendly, but I don't think either one of us necessarily loved hearing that commentary. I mean, this is Mousasi. This is a 5-tool player, Gegard Mousasi, man. And you can be sure Weidman will have his I's dotted and his T's crossed.
Yeah. Oh, you got to respect Mousasi. That was my concern for Chris, And listen, if he wants a piece of the flow, he can come get it.
Dude.
I mean, listen, I'm 40 years old and I can barely move, but I can run pretty fast.
Dude, I've been